Good morning, educators. My name is Leslie Sharp. I'm CEO and founder of Sharp Leadership and Educational Consulting Firm, but I'm also the founder and CEO of Nehemiah Consulting. I've been in education over 30 years. I am an educator at the heart. I've been a principal recently during COVID-19. I've served in different school districts. I've served in various positions. It's not about me this morning, so I won't go into detail about that. But I had to come to you this morning. I'm being obedient to say thank you for what you do. And when I say educators, I'm talking about not just teachers, but I'm talking about the custodians, the cafeteria workers. I'm talking about the PEMS clerks. I'm talking about the front office staff, receptionists, office managers, teacher assistants, copy clerks, everybody who has a hand on the kids. I'm talking to you this morning. And I'm talking to those specifically who are in the building or dealing directly with our students, with our kids. I just want to say thank you this morning. This is a tough time to be an educator. And it's almost a time where people want to throw their hands up and say, forget it. Because not only do you battle the challenges that come with educating students during COVID-19, but it seems like changes are coming down the pipeline so fast. As soon as you learn something, it's time to do something else. If you're doing paperwork one way, they come back and say, do it this other way. And as soon as you train kids on the system, I don't care if it's Zoom, Google Classroom, whatever you're using, somebody else comes back and say, you have to do this. And this is a sidebar. I've never understood why we have to differentiate for students, but we don't differentiate for teachers, their learning and delivery of instruction, especially during professional development. I had to plug that in because we make everybody attend everything, but everybody doesn't need that. So sidebar, going back to this, I just want to focus on you all this morning. And I want to say, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you set boundaries. There's only so much you can do within a day. There's only so much that will really be effective. Teachers, I know, as educators, will work through midnight. In my early years, I used to take stuff home and do it. In my latter years, I didn't do that. But you'll answer the phone 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night trying to help parents, trying to help students. But I want to encourage you today to set some boundaries. It goes for you teacher assistants and you copy clerks too, because we had a copy clerk that was phenomenal. She was our liaison with the parents. She made YouTube videos to help them learn whenever, and she would translate for us. Whenever they had questions, they would call her. And I know this 100% sure for a fact, she answered phone calls all during the summer with parents. They would call her. She built a relationship. She was an excellent support. I want to say, set boundaries today. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries, and don't feel guilty about it. You should have a cutoff time because you have a life and you have a family too. And I made a vow a long time ago not to spend more money and more time with somebody else's children than I did my own. Although I was in the school, I made sure I had quality time with my kids at home. It's very important. They can replace you at the school, but you cannot be replaced at home. And you understand what I mean by that. Your family is very important. Your job should not come before your family, but you still have a job to do. It's like with nurses or medical professions, we have made an oath, but teaching is one of the jobs I know that the people there volunteer more time than any other profession I know. You volunteer. You don't get paid for a lot of stuff you do. You don't get reimbursed for the money you spend. And I'm encouraging you at this time, for the sake of your mental health, for the sake of your family, set some boundaries. And I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying do your best. I'm just encouraging you, beginning today, September 28, 2020, set some boundaries. You will feel better. Now, if you're tired now, can you imagine what you're going to feel like in a month or two from now? You have to protect and take care of yourself. So this part is for administrators. I'm encouraging you, if you have not already, sit down and brainstorm some ways that you can relieve some pressure or some stress off the teachers. Is there somebody else that can support in some manner? Is there some kind of assistance that can be provided for the teachers? Is there a task or duty that you can take off their plate? Because I do understand when you're lesson planning, you're differentiating instruction, and you're making sure that every kid learns, and you're face to face, and you're virtual, asynchronous, and synchronous, and you're still trying to educate the parents on the system and come up with ways. It's a lot. On top of grading papers, on top of feedback, on top of tutoring, on top of small group, on top of RTI, on top of that documentation, on top of going to arts, on top of your left me. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And I just want to encourage administrators, look at the big picture for teachers. Before we start writing them up and before we start evaluating them, look at the big picture for teachers. What are we really looking at and what are we really doing? Because if we're wearing them out now, they won't be any good for anybody come December. Second semester will be a wash. And we don't want them quitting and leaving before that time. So teachers, you set boundaries for yourself. You do your best and do your job. And don't forget you have legal requirements, but also don't forget about your mental health and your family at home, whether it be a dog, whether it be children, whether it be husband, wives, whatever's going on at home. Don't forget, first things first. Take care of your mental health. The next thing I want to encourage you all to do is make sure you're giving authentic work to the students. Not more, but go in depth. Work smarter and not harder. Administrators, help provide that time for small group instruction, even if it's online, and tutoring, even if it's online. We want to make sure that teachers are taken care of. And I never will forget, I was a principal at an elementary school. I won't forget Miss Hunt. Miss Hunt was the lead custodian, facility supervisor, correction. And I'm going to tell you, I did not know that she was rewarding kids, having them read to her, talking to them about their grades. I mean, we saw a change in student achievement along with everything else we were doing. She was very instrumental. So look and see the talent you have around campus. You'd be surprised at how many people are really teachers. Now, we know that teachers who are in the classroom, we consider them the expert because they do this day in, day out, and they have more experience. But you have so much support on campus that you can use. Teachers, I just want to tell you, hats off to you. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. I want to encourage you, and I'm talking to, and let me say teachers, and then I'll broaden it out in just a little bit. But I want to say to you, you've been essential even when COVID first hit. You've been heroes even when COVID first hit. I know as administrators, we were trying to figure out, okay, how can we make sure the kids are educated and while not driving the teachers up a wall, stressing them out. And I will speak for the staff I had. They stepped up to the plate. When I say it was a smooth transition to what we were doing, it was a smooth transition. Everybody was on board. It was teamwork. There was collaboration, feedback, and my teachers were my heroes. There was nothing I wouldn't do, as long as it was legal, ethical, and moral, for my teachers to help them out. There was nothing. And I mean that hands down. And I remember years ago, I had one of my administrators when I was, an assistant principal say, "Sharp, why are you always taking up for these teachers?" And my response was, because I never forgot what it was like to be one. And that is the truth. I never forgot what it's like to be a teacher. It's tough. It's tough dealing with parents sometimes who are in denial. It's tough dealing with parents who need help. And not that the parents are a burden. It's just it requires more time to make sure the parents have support they need, especially during a time like this when parents are not into technology like the kids. And even if everybody's into technology, they have to learn the different systems that you use and learn how to use these different apps. And my hats are off to you. And I'm still going to tell you again, you need to take care of yourself during this time. And I can't say it enough. Set some boundaries. I'm not saying don't do your job. Do your job within some boundaries. Make sure you are taken care of. Even if it requires you talking to someone, make sure you're taken care of. All of those of you who support teachers, I want to say thank you. It's not easy. The teacher assistants I had and the copy clerk, when I say they worked, they worked. They were in every meeting that the teachers were in. They were supporting. They were the ones on the side, and the teachers were able to communicate. It became a humongous family. When I say unity, when I say one, I mean it was one. We were all operating as one. We looked out for each other. We had each other's back. We were so busy. There was no time for backbiting. There's no time for talking about anybody. And yes, we had to address some issues because not every teacher was doing what they were supposed to do. But for the majority, what teacher wakes up in the morning and say, you know what? I want every child to fail. I don't want to be successful. I just want to check. Not many. Not many. I've never known one that wanted kids to fail. And everybody wants to be at his or her best. So this morning, I want to say you all are heroes in the education system. Administrators, I know you hit it from top, bottom, left to right. Those of you administrators who are taking care of kids, parents, and teachers like you're supposed to, don't forget you will be rewarded. And those of you who are not, you will suffer the consequences. Make sure all parties are taken care of, but your core, the heart of your success is with the teachers. If they're taken care of, they can take care of students. So, great day to you all. I'm looking forward to a phenomenal year. I want to encourage you to take care of yourselves while you're taking care of other people's children. Remember, this is just the beginning. October is this week. We have a ways to go. Thank you for everything you do. You're my hero. Heroes, you are essential workers, and you always have been. Have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.